Dave, congratulations, third place secured, and in the end, a fantastic end to a fantastic league campaign for you.
Yeah, a great last sort of 30 minutes to the game for us. Once the penalty was saved, momentum sort of swung. We got that equaliser and then went on from there really. But as good as we've been over the last few weeks in terms of coming back from losing positions, today more than anything, like I say, football can be decided by moments, and for 60 minutes we were flat and the game wasn't good enough from our perspective, and we could have found ourselves out of the game with the goal that's disallowed for offside, which I think is offside, but not doing our jobs, and then the penalty save. So I wouldn't say we got away with one, because the game had a little bit of a end of season feel to it when there wasn't the jeopardy involved with both teams knowing they were in the playoffs. But ultimately, from my perspective, and I would hope from our team's perspective, we think we've done right this season, and we wanted to finish third. Whether we knew that finishing third would most likely have happened with a draw, and that just changes the mindset. I'm not too sure. But listen, put all that aside, we've ended the season in the position we have. We now look forward to a playoff campaign that's in front of us.
It's another game where you've come from behind to win. I guess whilst on one side you'll be delighted with that mentality that you've shown, again on the other side you'll be wanting to break the habit of conceding the first goal.
Definitely, because we've spoken over the course of the season. I think when we've conceded the first goal, we've won 24% of games. When we scored the first goal, we've won nearly 80% of games. So the statistics don't lie, and in football matches, more often than not, the team that scored the first goal win. That's not to say that football doesn't throw up surprises, and it's not to say that it's not a brilliant mindset and trait to be able to overcome adversity, and from losing positions still keep on going and try and wrestle momentum back in the game. That happens in different ways. Sometimes it happens by you scoring, sometimes it happens by, as was the case today, an opponent missing a chance or missing a penalty. Sometimes it happens by changes and substitutions you bring on. All them things. So it's a great trait, but like I say, one that I'd prefer that we got out of.
3 goals in the second half, but the big moment, I suppose, as you say, is the penalty save. And I guess that just caps what's been a really strong end to the season for Corey. He'll be going into those playoffs full of confidence.
Yeah, everyone should be going into the playoffs full of confidence. We're on a great run. But again, be clear, we're playing against the team in the playoffs who themselves have won 6 games on the spin. So they'll come into it in a similar place. In terms of what happens, you know how playoffs work, and the likelihood is there will be heroes and villains, and I mean that in a nice way. Somebody either will really grab the limelight by scoring a brilliant goal, or again from a goalkeeper perspective making a brilliant save or doing something on penalties, but on the flip side of that, someone may make a mistake that results in that happening. So that's the jeopardy you're up against. I've been there countless times, I've forgotten how many times, and you're not telling me that anything can't happen, and the fact that the players there, and the fact that I've won on penalties, I've lost on penalties, I've lost in finals on penalties, I've had a goalkeeper score in the 97th minute against me to take things to extra time when you 1-0 up. There's so many things happened, that stories are always there to be rewritten, if you like, and it's the most exciting part of the season, and it's probably the most exciting part of the season even for neutrals that aren't involved in it, because of what the jeopardy, what the excitement, what can happen. We've all seen it. Thankfully for us, we're involved in it, and we're really looking forward to that.
It's another game where your subs have changed the game as well. What was the thinking? What were you hoping to change with the substitutions that you made, the 4 that you made whilst 1-0 down?
Our first half performance wasn't what we wanted to do, so we knew that these were a pressing team, and at times we might have to play beyond them to earn the right. But the pitch, again, difficult. It is difficult with the way the weather was and the way their irrigation system works. They tried to soak the pitch before the game, but with the sun, they have to take their I suppose the hose pipe off and can't get any more water. I think that's no fault of their own. That's just the system they've got in place. So the pitch was dry and the pitch was slow. We made it look even slower by not moving the ball quick enough. And all we did in the first half was the centre-backs passed the ball to each other with no real tempo and then smashed it forward. Well, that wasn't what we'd worked on. So we wanted to still be positive. We picked the team that would be high up the pitch and would be aggressive, and would at times look to be able to deal with their transition and their counter-threatening balls that they try and put in behind. But have our centre-backs stepping in. We didn't do that in the first half. So then I'm required to either stick with it and see if it changes, or make personnel changes to try and get us more offensive, more attacking. Not in huge ways. There shouldn't be a situation where Noilly is significantly more attacking than what Callum Conley is, and there shouldn't be a situation where Ryan Rydell is significantly more attacking than what Ibby is. We've only really swapped fullbacks, and then obviously when we concede the penalty and choose to, I suppose, try and change the dynamic of the game. Like I say, there's momentum and there's that shift in the fact they missed a penalty, but again, the first 15 minutes of the second half, not good enough. One or two little moments. You bring Beno on, you bring Odin on. There's a lift, and there's certainly a lift when we get that first goal, brilliant finish, that puts us on the front foot and sows a seed of doubt, a seed of doubt that we sort of jumped all over.
Another goal off the bench for Beno today. I know you're still trying to maybe build him up physically to where he needs to be, but what he's shown again today is only needs half a chance.
Yeah, it's not trying to build him up physically in terms of fitness wise. Trying to build him up to what League One football looks like. He's a 19-year-old who, excuse me, is not long in the country, and has made the transition really, really well. It's just what the dynamic looks like, because we know if you get chances and something drops him in the box, without question, I wouldn't swap him for anybody else in our squad to be the one that put the ball in the net, and it's no surprise that he finished. And like I say, the impact that he's had since January is far greater than what we thought it would be, which is huge credit to him. And anything that happens this season, I see it, and I would hope he would see as well, as a bonus. Because a proper pre-season under his belt, although that might be a little bit more difficult with international call-ups and things like that through the summer, but hopefully come July, August, whatever division it is, he's absolutely flying and is able to have a bigger impact on the squad. That still might be from, like I say, from the bench or things. I'm not too sure, but it'll certainly be I suppose a blank page at the start of next season or the start of next pre-season.
At this stage of the season, you want your big players to step up. In previous years, it's been maybe Paddy or Sars. At this stage, Ollie Norwood has been the man, really. How pleased have you been with how he's ended the season?
Yeah, I was disappointed with him first off, because I think, again, due to the ball speed more than anything else, we knew that we'd have an extra player. The way they try and do it in terms of their press, they don't really want to jump a midfielder. So Ollie should have been free, which he was at times. We didn't get in the ball, and then when we did, I thought he played backwards too much, and looked to keep the ball almost as if we'll take it 0-0 and try and have just control the game. That might have been all right if we agreed with Wycombe before the game. That's what both teams are going to do, but that's never going to be the case. We wanted to come here and try and be on the front foot and win. I thought first half we didn't do that, and Ollie's going to be key to that. And I'm not saying play forwards all the time, but we knew that if they jumped on us, if we did look to break that press, that we get opportunities on the back of it. We didn't have a shot on target in the first half, which again says everything really about how we went about it and what our quality was like. Second half was much better, and once you've then got a team on the back foot, and all of a sudden he's allowed to play those passes that open teams up, especially when you're in a winning position. You are looking for that control. There's nobody better. But his performances, like I say, over the last 2 months have been fantastic, and he'll be a massive player for us in the coming weeks.
Challinor is in the semi-final, then 6 straight wins for them under Richie Rollins. It's been a fixture down the years that's maybe benefited the away side more than anything, but a big challenge ahead nonetheless.
Yeah, of course. I don't think there's anything between any of the playoff teams. I think if you look at form and what it looks like, yeah, we're in good run. Challinor in a good run, Charlton are in a decent run. Wycombe are probably the ones that had the opportunity to finish in that second spot, and I've had some defeats, but I don't think that too much derails their opportunities and their chances. Obviously made some changes today, and left some of their big players out that will be important to them. So I think it's wide open. You have to perform, like I said, not just on the night, on 2 nights, in order to give yourself an opportunity to go to Wembley to win a final. Those one-off games in a final can be anything. We know that as much as there are strange things happening in playoff, in home and away semi-finals, if you're going to play at Wembley in a one-off game in a cup final, that can have different impacts on different people. We want to give ourselves the opportunity to do that, but no, we've got a really, really tough task in front of us.
Just finally, because it's been on the screens around us, just a word on Bradford City, promoted today. Assist for Neil Byrne, goal for Anthony Sars.
Yeah, it was funny. We'd sort of, because our game had gone on with 10 minutes of injury time. One of the lads had a phone, and that's what was going on, and it's a Walsall were up, and then seconds later Bradford had scored. So we knew that Sars had scored. I can't believe Byrne has got an assist. How he's managed to stay on the pitch till 97 minutes is beyond me. But they've made hard work of it, and whether it's deservedly or not, they've got themselves up. Which, listen, made up for them too, made up for Greza. I know that he, again, spoken about it, received Manager of the Year last week at the EFL Awards. I thought the way he spoke after it was really sort of humble around what he said, and because they hadn't finished the job, and I suppose Doncaster and Port Vale had, but they're a massive club, and they've tried for the last few years to get themselves to League One. I'm delighted that 2 of our former lads have helped them to be able to do that. Delighted for them personally, as like I say, players that I've worked with and still have a contact and a relationship with. But as a football club for Bradford to move up, they'll be fitting as a League One team. Obviously, with that comes disappointment, huge disappointment for Walsall. And again, I'm not too sure what's happened at the end, if Chesterfield have snuck in and
They have.
and Paddy and obviously we've got a lot of people there that we know, and Cookie will be relishing again playing against Walsall, who no doubt will be on the pitch waiting for results to come through, and have that real disappointment from thinking they're being promoted to all of a sudden going into them playoffs. So I'm sure Chesterfield will fancy themselves over 2 legs. Last game of the season, loads happens. Thankfully for us, none of that stuff was really affecting us. Sometimes it's really difficult to concentrate on what's going on at your own game when things outside of your control can impact what you do. Thankfully today we've taken care of our stuff. Like I say, we finished in 3rd, which is a brilliant effort, but we're one of 4 teams now that want to go and grab the ultimate prize.
87 points, it's a new club record for the 3rd tier as well, so another little bit of history for you there. Well done today.
Cheers, Liam, thank you.